All right, back after a little bit of time here with another video, some 100 NL grinding. Just had a big bowl of some Indian food. It was pretty good. Took a couple days off of really grinding, so just focusing on work and trying to get my sleep schedule in order because it has been pretty god awful. But overall, I think taking a break as well is pretty helpful to the mental game, like the mental aspect of the game, because it's like a high, sort of like a stressful game to be playing sometimes. It's poker, so it's nice to take a break and chill out every now and again. Anyway, it's pretty late here now. I got work in the morning, but I did want to get a video out, and I wanted to get maybe 3 tables in possibly. This looks like a 4-handed game, which is okay by me. Hopefully my laptop can handle this. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Let's get into some good spots. A couple of buddies, or I guess not buddies, but people that I know from poker that just basically online. They'd made me an offer, like if I record a session, that they would review it with their new data analysis software. So basically Hand to Note, if any of you have used that. I'm sure a lot of you have, all 20 of you that are watching this, maybe, well, out of 20, if there's 20 of you watching, maybe 10 of you know what Hand to Note is. But yeah, I guess they built their own version of Hand to Note, or it's Hand to Note, but they made some improvements on it. So they would like to showcase it by analyzing one of these videos. So that's pretty nice. Here I'm always raising. I'm always using like raising versus a limp, especially from fish. I should say I'm only raising fish limping here because their limping range is quite weak, and then this is a range bet. Ace-3 offsuit is going to mix on a 78. I will 3-bet. So pretty nice. Just take them both down, no resistance. Yeah, sometimes on these videos, I have a tough time articulating my exact thought process. This board, do I have range bets? I don't think I play range bets here, but it's pretty high frequency. I think I like betting this hand. And also in these BVB spots, there's some pretty nice timing tells you can get on the big blind. Not that I was focused in either of these situations because I'm busy talking, but here, for instance, okay, here, the ace of spades is nice. Yeah, I think I would like to call with this combo rather than raise. I'm going to check. He's basically saying he has a 7. Now he's saying he has a 6. Or 9-8. With the ace of spades, this is this is some negative removal. It is positive removal in a way, you block the ace-6 combos, but those are 3-bet ranges that I played. But anyway, yeah, blocking some bluffs, unblocking value, and he can have some 9-8 offsuit combos as well, and some offsuit 6x. So pretty easy spot, pretty hard spot to be over bluffing, easy spot to be just taking me straight to value town. So I'm happy to fold. And here, this hand sucks, so I will fold when facing a bet into a bunch of different people. This guy is a little bit of a weaker player. I'm going to 3-bet the button, even though this hand would typically mix, especially versus this sketchy low jack size, the 2.5x. Versus snap call. This is a fish. Like, I expect maybe they call too much, like ace 9, ace 8. I could delay or I could bet now. I'm gonna go ahead and bet. Oh, I should have turned my HUD off. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and do that. And then on the 9 of clubs, yeah, I'll always delay till the river here. Because there's some nice rivers that I think I'll have like very nice fold equity on. So, is this one of them? Oh, look at this. I'm making mistakes left and right because I'm trying to talk through my decisions here. We're flipping versus ace queen and no longer flipping. We are losing. Here, I will. Yeah, I do think I like bet actually. Put pressure on like some like the small pocket pair region that snap calls as well, and then like some spade hands. Could even use like a slightly smaller size. I get min raised. Yeah, this is a crazy line for my opponent. Just gonna fold. Let me. It's a U.S. player. Yeah. Let me get on another table, or request another table here. Okay, so facing limp, I'm gonna raise small. No reason to raise that large. I don't think I can run 4 tables here. So I'm gonna play one more hand here and then sit out on this bottom table, and the video will get a little less choppy. Facing a raise here from this Russian regular. Here I'm gonna play big better check. Roll for this. I think this hand would mainly bet, and then here I will. Roll for this as well. On a 28, I will call. Check. He should be playing some leads here. Let me close this. Oh no. I'm going to check this back and then call here. It's not a nice river card. Or turn card, I mean. Check, and then versus half pot, tilt. Yeah, I just call as much as I would like to raise. Okay, I mean, not much value to be had versus, oh shoot, I lose to kings, queens, it's fine. Save me some money. 8s on the flop there, likely pretty close to, like likely indifferent, like mainly folding. But yeah, likely indifferent. I forgot what the exact flop was, but without a spade, definitely can get behind folding. I do have a read on this player that like the continuation bet frequency there might be a little bit too high. Like it's already high in equilibrium, but he might be range betting for like a half pot size. So I don't know. I can get behind calling eights there, even though it's already pretty close. I'm thinking about it more now. Like, is another part of this. Another part of the puzzle is like, your opponent's barrel frequency. So I may have a hand like eights, no spade there, that is totally indifferent or approaching indifference on the flop. And oh shoot, I forgot to sit out here. So I'm gonna sit out after this hand and not even care about it, for the sake of the video. So yeah, I might have like a hand like eights there with no spade that's approaching indifference, and calling is contingent on my opponent checking down enough runouts, right? So like in the situation where their barrel frequency is really high, eights really would tend to, like, the eights don't have enough equity on the flop to continue, because they need more equity. They need a lot more equity to be able to face multiple barrels, right? So there has to be some amount of the time that my opponent bets the flop and then checks it down, and I win. But if that's not happening enough, then the equity that I need to call the flop is much higher. So a hand like eights is like going to fold. So oh wow, top set, that was awesome. It's an exciting hand. Okay, I think things are looking a lot better now. I'm gonna make sure I timestamp this so that everything is in order, and like you could skip through all the nonsense. Yeah, I've been doing okay on this side. I definitely in some interesting spots with fish. Like, y'all witnessed one earlier where I get like, it's just very passive line for my opponent, and the check min raises the river. Yeah, I don't want to think too deeply about that one, but I don't think my hand I don't think my hand is very good to bluff catch, even if I anticipate fish being like very merged. This guy's a 30 big blind stack, likely a fish. I will just go 9 big blinds here. Let me go ahead and tag this guy as a fish for now. I mean, this might be a short stack warrior, but oh my god, I didn't even see that this guy had called. Would have gone slightly larger. I think 9's still an okay size since they're both a little bit short. Here I'm going to range bet versus fish. Yeah, that ace 10 of diamonds hand was very interesting. So I'm definitely more comfortable playing 100 now than I was even last week. So I think every time I play on a new site, or anytime I play it like in a new pool, it's a little bit like I really overestimate what, like, the skill level of my opponents. So I'll assume that they're all playing like really well. That's a good thing, and also it could be kind of a bad thing, because a lot of the time they're all doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing, like, you play in one card room, the regs are going to be playing in a very similar way to how they play like in another card room across the country, right? Or maybe like even the card room down the street. Fish generally will play similar. Like, they'll all have certain tendencies that that will make them unique. But for the most part, let me think here. Actually, so this hand already very close. I think versus 7, it's like folding a little bit, and then on a 1. Is this a fold? I think this is with the ranges that I play. I think this is a fold with the ranges I play. So that's fine. And then 6 is going to open. I have to check that one. Let me check it right now. I have GTO Wizard up, and I'm just going to pull it up because I like to RTA every single spot. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just making a joke because I'm so silly and funny. This looks like some interesting stuff happening here. Look at this 4-bet size. It's absolutely humongous. Yeah, I think that was a fold because it's like versus 6.5, it seems a little bit. I think it's already folding, and then versus 7. Yeah, really, it all depends on whatever ranges you play. But for me, I think I reviewed that exact spot earlier today, and Ace 10 was already very close. So. Don't hate it on a low roll. I pre-flop, I prefer not to make any pure decisions based on my opponent unless like I have a strong read that something's happening here. I'm gonna call with this short. Yeah. Part of me is enticed by like squeezing, but he's so short. Like I think some of these like short stack fish will just commit the rest of their stack if I squeeze with like some nonsense. So even though this hand has nice like polarity, like properties like just like decent removal, okay, and here I do like betting. He's inclined to bet with the fish in position. So I'm gonna go ahead and lead out for pot here. I don't think I would want to take any other size. His range is weaker than it should be. Like his checking range should not be that protected. He has a lot of incentive on the flop to bet with this guy in position. Like, barring he has some read that this guy is going to reopen the action a shit ton. But I think my assumption is fairly accurate. And then versus an ISO, I think this is worth isolating. Yeah, I think it's worth isolating. Like, I gain some fold equity. I risk half a big blind, and then he squeezes. I can overcall. But here, like I play heads up, it's very okay, I'm just gonna gamble. And we flop a set. This is what happens when you take. This is what happens when you take risks. When you take risks, you make quads. This is a very poor play, likely, but I think isolating this fish is slightly higher EV than over limping with this reg in the from Belarus or something, right? Yeah, Belarus. This guy is quite aggressive, so like I likely will get squeezed out if I limp, and then versus like an isolation raise, he might be folding a little bit more. So I'm going to raise to 3 big blinds here. I've been really leaning on these smaller sizes. I think larger sizes tend to get attacked a little bit more often. So like you have two options. Like you could play slightly wider with a smaller size, or you can play more like polar and have like a bit of a stronger range with a very large isolation size. And then versus two fish, I'm going to bet this hand. I don't expect to get raised very often. It's interesting, like double barreling. So, um, this guy's snap calling. Strange to me. His range is like pretty strong. It seems like so. Um, I am gonna bet this, and the main reason being like he's gonna be very face up. Puts a lot of pressure on him as well. Um, he has to consider this fish here who just overcalled. So this might be a bit of a spew, but I do pick up some equity on the turn. And I think after this fish snap calls the flop, like I'm pretty much attacking, like always attacking like a certain portion of his range that is like, you know, pocket fours and pocket fives, stuff like that. So yeah, I feel totally fine blasting that actually. It's getting a bit it's getting a bit laggy or choppy, I mean. And this is a clear fold. Let me see how long this has been running. 22 minutes. I think that's good. I think this is a good time. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Okay, sitting it out here. I'm gonna sit out here as well. I think this is a good time to wrap it up. Wanted to put out a quick video. This one, I might be, I'm getting more comfortable playing on this like screen record video format. I feel generally pretty good. Definitely got some interesting spots. You guys are gonna have to give me some feedback on some of these multi-way spots, or like what you would do in them. Maybe that ace-10 hand versus a fish. Playing versus fish is it's tougher than it seems. Like parts of it very easy, but then like they do some stuff that's like so crazy you have to like try and decipher what it means, and it's like in another language, right? Like with regs, it's kind of like we speak a similar language, so like you can kind of like I'm using this comparison with language, but like this will call sometimes, but I actually do quite like call with this guy here, a weaker player. At this rake structure though, it's definitely tougher. This is close. If he opens the action, it's very close. And then like here, I can check. My pot share is very small as is, but having the 5, having I think I'm gonna bluff catch this with I have some additional equity as well as like I'm beating bluffs. They just give this guy exactly what he needs. It's always tempting to check raise this type of hand, like on the river, like facing a bet, right? Because you could assume that like I have these like positive blockers to strong hands, but like it's important to consider your opponent's perception. Just 10-9. That like this hand is okay. Like I understand. Like your hand has so much equity that you can actually bet and it's fine. But you might it might not be that great of an idea. I don't know what he was tanking for so long on the river there for. Maybe it's just my the client is like having a tough time running um, with OBS in the background. This will be the last stand, so I'm going to sit out after this one and call it. I don't think anything, unless I drill an offsuit 7 here, I don't think anything will really be that interesting about this hand. I really have no idea how to play bomb pots. Like I'm probably awful at them. I basically am like extremely passive. And yeah, like the burden of like the reason I'm so passive is like the burden of bluff catching this small size, even though it's a small size, it's actually pretty nice. Is on all four of us. So it's not always like super like straightforward. Like I can't bluff catch a 5 there, or like I mean a 6. Sorry. Anyway, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. I will record tomorrow night as well. I hope you enjoyed the session. I'll put timestamps in the description, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed some of the hands.